All right, guys, welcome back to our striking series. Today we're going to be talking about how to set up our takedowns with our strikes. Okay, so I'm going to go over a couple basic options. It's important to understand before I show the options that whenever you're looking to level change and take your partner down, I think the biggest thing you need to establish, and you'll see this a lot with high-level takedown artists in MMA versus like the lower level takedown artists, is that they really set it up with their strikes. Okay, it's important to almost convince your opponent that it's just going to be a stand-up exchange, and once you get them right getting comfortable exchanging with you, that's the time to level change versus what I call like panic wrestling, right? Just being desperate and shooting without really engaging the striking first. Okay, so let's start with a simple one. Again, I'm going to categorize these setups into proactive and reactive takedowns. Okay, so proactive would be, okay, I'm striking and I start getting Nate to back up. So I'm starting to pressure Nate and then I go ahead and set up my takedown. That would be a proactive takedown. Reactive would be if I'm responding to Nate, so my opponent is pressuring me, how we're gonna respond to that. Okay, so let's just talk about setting up a takedown. Simple is with our jab. So a great example of this would be George St. Pierre. I think he had the most simple and one of the most effective takedowns for MMA, or just takedown skill. Okay, and a lot of times his was just off the jab, right? So proactively, okay, we're gonna back up a little bit here. So, okay, again, George would set this up a lot before, right? He would be doing, a couple strikes here, play from the outside, okay, but everything started with a jab, right? So that jab is always on his partner's mind, okay? Now, when he got his opponent to start striking back with him, okay, and then he started landing that jab, they start respecting his feints, right? Now, Nate starts respecting me, right? I see him starting to back up to my feints, okay? You can simply, so again, this is a proactive option because he's responding to me, okay, is I could just throw the jab to the eyes from a long distance. So I'm gonna throw the jab to the eyes as I bring that back foot to my front foot and then spring in for a left shoulder shot here. Probably when you're proactive, a head outside single would be best. So again, right, we're striking, let's just say I'm here, I get Nate reacting, right? I landed my jab a couple times, I'm throwing it. Okay, now I'm gonna throw away a jab, but as I throw that jab, I wanna cover that distance, right? So as I throw that jab, okay, I'm gonna throw it as I bring my back foot to my front foot so I can close the distance for that level change. Okay, now from here, all I'm gonna do is take a big step back. I'm gonna bow to the mat, driving my shoulder down to the spot I want my partner to win, okay? So again, let's imagine we had an exchange. I was landing my jab a couple times or establishing it. Now I'm feinting and I see Nate twitching towards me, right? So now I'm gonna go jab, back foot to front foot, and we're gonna lead in here. Okay, now from here, take a step back, drive down with my shoulder, okay? Now, the reactive version of that, okay, if Nate were pressuring me, I just tell the students here, I say use a jab frame. So the difference, I use that terminology because just like if someone was getting close to you in like a grappling situation, you just frame off of them. Okay, you could use the jab as a frame. So as Nate pressures in, look, I could jab to keep myself away. Okay, so again, let's just say Nate starts pressuring. I jab, level change. Okay, again, so I'll do it on the second jab. So I jab, frame away. He pressures, jab, level change here. Okay, now for reactive takedowns, okay, when I'm on the back foot, I find that the double leg is probably more effective, okay, because most likely your opponent's leading, okay, with that shoulder here, okay? So when he rotates and I fit in on that double, okay, I'm gonna go elbow deep here, and then same thing, I'm gonna do a running double. So I'm gonna bring my back foot to my front foot, and I'm gonna run down, okay, and finish that takedown versus running across a traditional double leg. So again, first one, he pressures, I jab frame. Second one, I level change. Okay, now from here, I'm gonna go elbow deep with the lead hand, and I'm gonna run around his legs to finish that takedown. Okay, so that's with a jab, proactive and reactive. The second one would be the hook, okay? So to use the hook, I'm still gonna use the hook and level change with my left shoulder, okay? But I would set it up a little bit different. So if it's proactive, okay? Ideally, I land something to the body, okay, a couple times. Okay, either I land it or I just throw it, right? I throw the right hand to the body a couple times, get him reacting. Okay, so I'm gonna go level change. Okay, you could either feint the cross or you can actually throw it to close the distance for that hook. Now the guard is up and I just changed levels off of the hook here. Okay, now for this one, I think as far as watching film, the double leg fits the best proactively off of a hook, okay? So again, it's here, like maybe I go jab, cross to the body, I land it a couple times, jab, jab, level change, hook, left shoulder shot, and we're gonna finish it the same as the previous reactive takedown. So we're gonna run, elbow deep, okay, back foot to front foot as I run around the legs here. Okay, and stay tight on the hips. Okay, now reactively is gonna be very similar, okay? Similar to the jab reactive takedown, where I'm gonna jab frame, and when he pressures, I'm gonna check hook, okay? And this time I'm gonna go single leg, take a step back, and bow. So Nate's gonna step towards me, I'm gonna jab frame back. On the second one, I'm gonna check hook, right to head outside single. This is when he's pressuring, so we'll back up a bit. He jab frame, check hook, bang, boom. Okay, head outside single. Okay, so now those are all off the lead shoulder. Let's talk about a rear shoulder shot, okay? And this video, we're sticking with same stance. The next series, we'll talk about open stance, okay? But we're here. So now what happens if I want to shoot with my right shoulder? So the tricky thing in a same stance scenario is you have to be careful with a right shoulder shot because of the rear knee here. Boom. Okay, so that's why you see a lot of times in same stance situations, it's more successful the head outside shots of the lead shoulder, okay, because of that threat of the knee. When I'm here, it's a little bit harder for Nate to throw the lead knee, okay, because I'm much closer. But again, that rear knee, if I don't set it up right, boom, okay, that's the danger. So what you're gonna see with right shoulder shots, okay, is I'm not gonna shoot with my head as low to the hip. So when I enter, I'm gonna be a little bit more upright, head towards the chest, again, for the danger of the knee, and most of the leverage is gonna come from my hip position, okay? So how I like to set up a right shoulder shot would be off of an overhand, okay? So imagine, right, I'm from distance, right? Proactively, I'm getting Nate to feint, right? We were striking, I'm feinting, okay? Maybe I jab to the body a couple times so he sees that level change, okay? Then I go low, I come up high, okay, throw the overhand just to distract so I can step in for that right shoulder shot, okay? Now this takedown you can see kind of happen in different ways. I think right now in the game you mainly see people take this when their back is against the wall, right? So if I had a close distance, right, you'll see Khabib use this a lot, right? He's constantly level changing. He throws away an overhand just to close distance. Okay, now he's in a good position against the wall to attack his body locks here, right? Foot sweeps, okay, and all that. And his head's high, so no threat of the knee, okay? In the open, okay, you see people use different tricks here. I've seen like Peter Yan will sometimes throw away a right hand and go to this old school takedown here with the hip, okay? So you'll see that a lot. The other option you'll see, for example, Merab in his last fight with O'Malley, okay? He actually threw the right hand, but he went head inside single. Again, take a look at my head. My head's high up versus the lead shoulder shots. My head's lower by the hip, okay? So again, I'll go over those options. These would be proactive options, me going forward. So I'm feinting. So let's just say I establish something low. Boom, I'm feinting. I throw that overhand. Bang, first one, I'm here. Okay, you could just run through with a double leg. Okay, you can do this against the cage to pin them to the wall. Okay, you can throw the overhand. Boom, step through with my hand. And again, I'm hip to hip here. Bump them over my hip. And then the last one, you can go overhand, head inside single, step back, right? Or into any one of your finishes. All right, guys, so that's our first part to our striking for takedown series. Again, just to summarize everything, it's super important to get your opponent reacting to your hands first. So whatever takedown you do decide to work on, it's good to build combinations around that, okay, so that you can get your opponent thinking you're striking. And once you get them reacting to your movement, that's a green light to go. Or if you find them blitzing you, okay, blitzing you hard, that's the sign to establish a frame to give you some time to see, and then you level change off of it, okay? Thanks, guys. Stay tuned for more.